Salam everyone. So this is the second video we're making about neighborhoods in Medina, and in this particular video we're going to show you the top 3 family friendly neighborhoods in Medina for expats. We're going to talk about the Hifz schools within these neighborhoods. We're going to talk about their proximity to Masjid Al Nabawi. We're also going to talk about, you know, the schools, the hospitals, and how easy it is to get around without a vehicle. So stay tuned.
So the first neighborhood we're going to be looking at is Rabwa. This is very popular for expats. This neighborhood is family friendly because a lot of things are within walking distance. You don't need a vehicle. It's also in a very good spot. It is 10 minutes from Masjid Al Nabawi. This is driving distance. And as you guys can see, there are a lot of stores, a lot of supermarkets, baqalas, and everything is within walking distance over here. We have a few expat friends that actually live in this neighborhood, and many of them don't have cars and are able to get by just because everything is very walking friendly. At most of these areas and the buildings are residential buildings, so you can find a place to stay and rent out pretty easily in this area. And you'll find a lot of your neighbors are actually expats and not Saudi nationals, so it might be a better area to come and kind of transition into your life here in Medina. If you're coming from the west, there'll be a lot of English speaking neighbors in this area. There are also a lot of like European nationalities, like French people, people from like the Netherlands and other European countries that mostly stay over here. So as we said, it's probably an easier transition into life in Medina. In terms of schools, right now we are passing a school over here. There are several schools in this neighborhood. And in terms of rental pricing, this is one of the cheaper neighborhoods we're going to be discussing today. So about a 2-bedroom is between 12 to 18,000 riyals a year, between like 20 to 30,000. I would say the median is like 25,000 a year, and that is for a 3 to 4 bedroom apartment. So if you like more of a city feel where your apartments are really close together, they're smaller, you have less space outside, Rabwa is a really good neighborhood. Rabwa has a lot of services in this area, and they're all very, very walkable. We have like laundromats, we have seamstresses, we have different like hair salons for both men and women. There are also a lot of supermarkets. As you guys can see, we've passed like maybe 5 or 7 different supermarkets just in this short drive. Here we're coming up to a masjid which has Qur'an memorization programs for children, and you can sign them up usually for free. Here we go, Dar Al Juman. These neighborhoods are very densely populated. Homes are a lot closer to each other, so you won't get a lot of like space outside, but there are a lot of people in this area. There's a really nice mamsha, like walkway here in Rabwa, as well as shopping centers and coffee shops, which is one of the most important things if you are a family. Nahdi Care Clinics, which is our top favorite clinic, especially if you are a visitor here. We highly recommend Nahdi Care Clinics, and it is right across from Rabwa, so that is a big plus with living in this neighborhood. We also have Rashid Mall on the other side of the street near Al Nahdi Clinics, so definitely a really good neighborhood to live in.
Alright guys, so the next neighborhood we're going to show is Hayy Al Jamawat, and this Hayy is very close to Jamawat Islamiyya and Hayy Al Difa and Al Azizziyah. It's a very, very nice neighborhood. As you guys can see, there's a lot of villas, a lot of houses. The streets are very quiet, and there is a part of Hayy al-Jamawat where everything is like new construction and modern. And we've actually shown a few apartments in our apartment hunting videos. If you haven't checked that out, you can definitely check it out in our videos. So you're definitely gonna get a nice mountain view here in this neighborhood, and your kids can even grow up playing in these mountains, which we did not see in Hayy al-Rabwa. Hayy al-Rabwa gave like more of a city feel, but here in Hayy al-Jamawat, basically in the middle of everything, there's a lot of services. You know, from Hayy al-Difa'i, Hayy al-Azizziyah. Haram is approximately 10 minutes away. Having to be close to Al-Jami' al-Islamiyya, there's going to be a lot of bookstores, a lot of print shops. Right now we're currently, as you guys can see, we're in the old Hayy al-Jamawat where there's like older houses, but right now we're going to actually shift to the new Hayy al-Jamawat. And in the new Hayy al-Jamawat, you're going to see a lot of new modern houses, modern, you know, apartments. All right guys, so we shifted to the new Hayy al-Jamawat area, the upscale area of Hayy al-Jamawat, and as you guys can see, a lot of construction, a lot of new construction, and this is actually in front of us right here are the modern houses, apartments that we were talking about. It gets higher. It is kind of like on a hilltop here, but I think they built Hayy al-Jamawat right on this mountain. So very spacious neighborhood. It's not like Rabwa where everything was packed. Here it feels like there's like more space, the streets are wider, and the population is less than Hayy al-Rabwa. In this new area of Hayy al-Jamawat, the upscale area, there are a lot of modern new construction, a lot of modern villas and buildings, and we've toured a few of them, a few furnished apartments in our furnished apartments in Madinah video. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. But there are a lot of suites here where you can rent on a daily basis, monthly basis, bi-yearly basis. But as you guys can see, this beautiful mountain here will be your view here in Hayy al-Jamawat. It is a higher area as well, so you can see a lot of Madinah behind us. A lot of people actually come here and hang out and picnic up here, so you can see the entire Madinah, you can see Masjid Al Nabawi. There are a lot of schools in this area as well. You have Hayy al-Faysaliyya is actually across the street from here. So in terms of like masajid and hifd, I think they're like less, because there are less masajid, so less like hifd, marakaz hifd. But there are decent amounts of masajid here. But just compared to Rabwa, and also like there aren't much services that are walkable distance. I mean, there are a lot of services around you in other hayys, but they're relatively close, but not as like walking distance as we saw in Hayy al-Rabwa. Yeah, this is Hayy al-Jamawat, and we are gonna head over to our last hayy inshallah for this video, so stay tuned.
So the last hayy we're gonna talk about today is Hayy al-Azizziyah. Hayy al-Azizziyah is really nice for families because it is one of the bigger hayys in Medina. So you have a lot of options in terms of housing. There are apartments, there are villas. You can get something bigger, something smaller, and the budget is there's a bigger budget range here. There are several parks here, and you'll find a lot more green space than hays like Hayy Rabwa because it is less of a city and more of like the outskirts of Medina. And coming to that, Al-Azizziyah is 20 minutes away from Masjid Al Nabawi driving. So if proximity to Masjid Al Nabawi is not super important to you and you want more of like a quieter suburban type feel neighborhood, Al-Azizziyah is one we do recommend. There are a lot of new buildings and construction here in Azizziyah. There are masajid being built, a lot of new homes, apartments, and villas. As you guys can see, there's also a lot of shopping areas in the works. So this area, while it's already very big, it's only expanding. There are a lot of services here, and you also get a beautiful view. There are a lot of mountainous views, a lot of palm trees and flowers in Hayy Azizziyah. So if you are about like pretty views and being in a nice neighborhood, this area is highly recommended. As you guys can see, also this whole area looks like it's getting ready to have some like new builds on it. There are a lot of services in this Hayy as well, supermarkets and laundromats and hair salons and just everything that you would need in day-to-day services here. There are a lot of restaurants as well within walking distance depending on where you live. As you guys can see, here's a new gas station being built. This area is developing a lot. I think they are just continuing to expand Medina more and more. So Azizziyah is on the outskirts of Medina, and I think they're going to be using that to expand the city limits itself. I feel like this neighborhood is very nice for families because the streets are a lot quieter and a lot more safer if kids want to be playing outside in the street. This neighborhood specifically is extremely quiet and very, very peaceful, and it looks very safe for children. So definitely recommend Hayy Azizziyah for families looking for more spacious, modern homes for a lower price and don't really care about proximity to Masjid Al Nabawi, which means you'll most likely need a car if you want to get to Masjid Al Nabawi and back. So it is Asr time, and Suhail went down to pray Salat al Asr here at this local masjid in Al Azizziyah, and we noticed that there are a lot of masajid, Allahumma barik, in this area, which means there are a lot of options for free Qur'an memorization for kids and adults as well. Because Hayy Azizziyah is farther away from Masjid Al Nabawi, you will find much lower apartments and homes. You'll find bigger apartments. These houses here and the apartments are more budget friendly than other Hayys because of how far away Al Azizziyah is from Masjid Al Nabawi. So you can get something bigger and probably nicer for a lower price than if you were closer to Masjid Al Nabawi. Like this, for example, these look fairly new over here. Now in terms of hospitals, Al Azizziyah is actually home to one of the best hospitals in Medina, the Saudi German hospital. This is a private hospital, so everything will be paid out of pocket, but we actually know a lot of expats that have given birth here and love their experience, and everything I've heard about it has been nothing but positive reviews. If you're going to be living here with a family, having a hospital nearby, especially a really good hospital, is just something very convenient. We are stopping by to grab some coffee from this cute little coffee shop here in Azizziyah, and while I was looking at the map, I noticed there are a lot of coffee shops in this area. So if you are a coffee lover like me, you are definitely going to love this area in Medina. Alright, so we are ending this video with a iced matcha, guys. We have to try all the iced matchas here in Medina, and today we tried Wahla for the first time, and it is very good, mashallah. So if you guys have any other videos you want to see, if you want to see a part 3 to our top neighborhoods in Medina, if you guys like this video, don't forget to hit like and share. It really does help us continue to show you guys the beauty of Medina and what life here is really like. And if you are thinking about moving to Medina, we hope our videos have been helpful to you. Don't forget us in your du'as. Assalamu alaikum.